I'm not the bad guy for telling everyone why my brother-in-law wasn't at his daughter's birthday party. I've recently separated from my wife for a multitude of reasons, but the one at the top of the list is her prioritization of her best friend, sister-in-law. She married the brother in aspects of her life. I've drawn a hard line of having no communication, except for childcare arrangements, and so far that has been working. She contacted me about my niece's upcoming birthday party, sister-in-law daughter, and if I would be okay bringing our daughter. It was my week with her. The kids love playing with each other, and I didn't think it was fair for them to miss out just because I might feel awkward about it. We went along and everything was fine. I avoided sister-in-law and my ex as much as possible, and minded and socialized with the other parents. I eventually got talked to one mom who made a comment that blew my mind. When I go to party, I noticed that brother-in-law wasn't there. I had overheard sister-in-law tell people he was working, but when I spoke to this mom, she cracked a joke about how brother-in-law owed sister-in-law flowers because both of their husbands were actually away golfing that day. This mom was obviously unaware that sister-in-law was telling people something else. For the rest of the party, whenever I was smiling and anyone brought up something along the lines of shame brother-in-law is working, I immediately corrected them and told them where he actually was. The rest of the party went fine, but I later got an angry phone call from my ex, who told me I had bleeped to sister-in-law's boss about things and how they were disappointed in their parental priorities. I snapped back that it was a complete joke that brother-in-law skipped his own daughter's birthday party to go golfing, and that they should be ashamed. After the call, I did feel a little guilty. I missed with sister-in-law's boss and may have done so because of prior resentment I have for sister-in-law. As much as I hate her, I wouldn't want her to lose her job or anything like that, but I just couldn't keep my mouth shut. So, am I the bad guy here? Am I the bad guy for going fishing after my wife's friend's family died? This past weekend, my family went camping with a group of my wife's friends. There were 3 families there, 6 adults and 8 kids. We took our boat, and before we left, I told my wife that the only thing I ask is that I have time to go fishing at least once during the trip. I told her I will take the kids tubing, taking people on leisurely boat rides, but that I want to go fishing at least one of the 3 nights we are there. When I say at night, I mean at night. The lake we were camping near is well known for its walleye fishing, and anyone who fishes for walleye knows that the best bites come before sunrise and after sunset, sometimes late into the night, especially during the summer. And after talking with a few locals, they said the nighttime bite has been very good recently. So my plan was to spend the days taking people out on the boat, and at least one night head out and do some night fishing. The first 2 nights I didn't get a chance to go out fishing because the other families had game night playing, and my wife wanted me to participate. Think family-based games where each family is a team. It was fun, and I'm glad we did it. The kids ate it up. The morning of our last full day there, I told my wife that I will be going fishing that night, and she agreed. After dinner, on the 3rd night, I started getting everything ready to head off fishing. It was about 8 p.m. when I was just about to leave the dock. My wife came running over in panic. One of her friend's family dogs has been hit by someone driving around on a golf cart. The dog didn't make it. She told me to come help her talk to the kids about it because they were all very upset. I hung around for an hour or so and helped console the kid. Obviously, everyone was pretty shaken up by it. The kids of the family with the dog wanted to do a funeral service for the dog, so I stayed for that too. By the time that ended, it was 9:30 p.m. The adults got the kids settled in with movie to try and calm down, so I told my wife I was going to head out fishing. She immediately got mad and asked me how I could even think of fishing after what happened. I told her there was nothing else for me to help with, and that I was looking forward to fishing the entire trip. I reminded her that she agreed it was okay, but she said that things changed and it will look bad if I go fishing while everyone else is helping her friends grieve. I told her that I had done the family thing the entire weekend and that I'm sorry about what happened, but that shouldn't mean I have to give up the one thing I wanted to do for myself. She just turned and walked away without saying anything. I ended up fishing for a few hours and everyone was still sleeping when I got back. My wife barely spoke to me the next day and the entire ride home. She told me I made her and myself look bad by leaving like that when everyone else stayed to help. So what do you think? Am I the bad guy here? Am I the bad guy for not letting my wife FaceTime our kids? My wife and I have been married for about 5 years. We have 2 kids, 1 year and 2.5 months. Some time ago, my wife had mentioned having regrets about never having lived in New York City, since that was always her dream. I didn't think much of it all the time until a few months ago when she told me that she wanted to move there temporarily by herself to see if she could make it there. She's an artist. After a lot of discussion, we agreed upon her living there for a year, and she said she will plan on upcoming home months to visit during that time on Christmas. This was a difficult decision for me since I work 60, 70 hours a week, and we have 2 younger kids, but I don't want her to have any regrets or end up resenting me, and likely my parents have been willing to help a lot. We were able to find her a decent sublet that she moved into about 2 weeks ago. Since she had been gone, she has FaceTimed me to see the kids about 3 times. That's great, and all because I want her to see the kids, but after every call, our son has had a complete meltdown. After the most stressing call, it took me an hour to calm him down. I don't think that's healthy for him, and honestly, it's a lot for me to deal with on top of everything else. Recently, I told her that I don't want to FaceTime her anymore with kids for that reason, and she was very upset, saying it's not right for me to keep the kids from her, and etc. I just have to learn how to deal with meltdowns, and that eventually they will get used to seeing her on FaceTime. I think she's been unfair to me, so I shall probably mention that this is not the first time she had left for an extended amount of time. Then our son was about 6 months old, and then again, when he was about a year, she was gone for 2-3 months visiting her mother, whose health issues, which I understood at the time. I shall also mention that early in our relationship and marriage, she did sacrifice a lot for my career, which is part of the reason I felt like I need to let her do this. So, am I the bad guy here? Am I the bad guy for telling my colorblind friend that he brought me the wrong paint color. I've got this buddy Ben. We've been tight since middle school. I'm an artist. He's into coding. And oh yeah, Ben is colorblind. Ben's color brightness has never been a big deal. We've joked about it, and I've helped him with color stuff when he needed. But things got a bit weird on my birthday a couple of weeks ago. Ben decided to buy me a limited edition set of paints. Super thoughtful, alright? Problem is, instead of the vibrant, varied set I've been eyeing for months, he got me a set that's all different shades of green. My last favorite color, and the one color he struggles with the most. When I saw the gift, I felt a mix of disappointment and guilt. I thanked him, but later, I gently told him he got the wrong set. I suggested that maybe we could exchange it together, turning it into a fun day out. But Sinful heard. He said he put a lot of thought into gifts and that I was being ungrateful. He said I was making him feel bad about something he couldn't control and that it was rude to point out the mistake. So I feel awful. I didn't mean to hurt his feelings, but I also feel like it was a waste to keep a gift that I wouldn't use, especially since it was expensive. So, am I the bad guy for telling my colorblind friend that he bought me the wrong paint color?